Alright, hello everyone, welcome back. It feels like it's been ages since the last pickups video here, and it looks a little bit like it too because there's a couple decent sized stacks to talk about here. Before we actually get into stacks of actual proper games, let's talk about some things that aren't quite games. And also the fact that I don't know what pickups is going to look like for the next couple months because I need to save up a bit. We're not going to be here for at least we'll have maybe 3 more months here. We're looking, but landlords, huh? Yeah, terrible. Anyway, on to stuff you're here for. This vinyl soundtrack here. This is an I am 8-bit pressing of Johto Legends, an arrangement of the Pokemon Gold and Silver soundtracks by Braxton Burks, I believe is the composer's name. Braxton Burks, produced and arranged by Braxton Burks. Lovely vinyl set with soundtracks from pretty much my favorite generation of Pokemon. It's a really, really nice stuff here. We listened to it during D&D the other night. It was awesome. Really, really cool. And just gotta love that gold and silver, very unassuming covers. Then again, for more non-actual games here, I'm very excited to talk about this because I was just blown away and I couldn't believe that I'd never heard of this. But this is Nintendo Force magazine. I've got 2 issues here, one of which was given to me by a store regular and a cool dude I follow who follows these videos in my Instagram and stuff and is very active in engaging with stuff. So I really appreciate that, Patrick. This is super, super cool. I can't help but notice how much thicker the original first volume is than the one that I picked up the other day. But basically, Nintendo Force magazine. I don't talk about I don't include Nintendo Powers if I pick up an issue of Nintendo Power in my pickups videos. I don't bring up even strategy guides really unless someone gives them to me. I think I've done that like one time before. But this is so exciting. I just really want people to know about this because I can't believe I'd never heard of it. Nintendo Force magazine is a spiritual successor by some big Nintendo fans, probably people very much like myself who are just yearn for this. It is a bi-monthly Nintendo-focused magazine, styled very much like Nintendo Power used to be. It's got a retro and modern-day focus. You can see here, this is actually, like I said, this is the first issue from January, February 2013. A very odd time where the Wii U would have just come out and the 3DS was going pretty strong. So you can see Fire Emblem Awakening here on the cover. And like I said, this is actually pretty thick here. No, I noticed very, very much so how thick this was compared to some of the newer issues. But that's not a complaint at all because I immediately subscribed to them on their Patreon. That's how you subscribe to this magazine, just Nintendo Force magazine on Patreon. And if you live in the continental United States, the issues cost $4.99 per issue. I would pay them $4.99 per issue just for them to send me the amazing posters that they include, just like Nintendo Power used to. Look at this one. This is the one that I had to get, by the way, that has Waluigi all over it. This is a 2-sided, really awesome quality and very large poster. This is probably, what, 16? I don't know, 20 by... I don't know. I can't gauge that. But it's a good sized poster. It's bigger than the Nintendo Power posters used to be. So this is Waluigi on this side, and it's actually Mario Party on the other side. Because this Waluigi focused issue, which looks great. Like, look at that artwork. It's so good. Is from September, October 2018. And along with the... So I signed up for it because I found out about this and started looking into it like right after they had shipped their March-April issue, so I was really bummed out to have kind of missed that. And you can order back issues. I don't know how much more expensive they get if you go a couple years back, but I've got the first 2 issues from 2022 on the way that I paid like $7 for per issue, so starting with January, February 2022, and then in addition to these issues, I'll be having all of them going forward, which is really cool. And yeah, I just couldn't believe, like, $4.99 is an incredible price to pay for this. Like, I think that's, you know, even bi-monthly, that they get a good amount of stuff into these issues. They do a little, like, I'm going on and on about this because I really just think that it's worth talking about. This is good for people besides just me going on and on about shit that I bought this month that I'll probably never touch. Reviews for Switch games coming out. This is 2018. That's Octopath Traveler. There's a full 2-page spread for Octopath Traveler, for Wolfenstein 2, for Crash Bandicoot The Insane Trilogy. Those proper reviews there. They have interviews with indie game developers. They have a look back on what Nintendo Power was doing 15 years or 25 years prior to that. So they have this section on 1993, September, October 93, 25 years before this. And I've got stuff about Smash, previewing Smash when it was on the way. So more towards the front, they have more like indie reviews, like they gave Hollow Knight here a perfect 10, as you do. Yeah, just lots and lots and lots of good stuff in here. I really, really appreciate what these guys are doing, and I hope that my just going on and on about it has also convinced you that these guys deserve your attention and your money. You can even buy a digital version for $2.99, and they send you the posters as a high-quality wallpaper-sized picture for your desktop. Really, really good stuff. Hopefully, like, if I have time for it, I would even inquire about writing for them, because that would be just exciting to me. But anyway, let's talk about some games, and we're still not really onto doing traditional games yet, because I figured it would be good to bring up that I have been spending money on the 3DS shop lately. As we know, the 3DS and Wii U shops are closing very soon. Next year, I believe, they'll be gone. And so I just felt like I should bring up some of the games that I've actually paid money for, because this is now part of my collection. You're not going to get them anywhere else. And I hope that also, like, I've been asking over and over and over, like, you know, what should I grab? What should I grab? Big titles that I've gotten here. Pocket Card Jockey. I've heard nothing but good things about that. Attack of the Friday Monsters, a game by Level 5, who I love. Pokemon Picross. Actually, I spent a good amount of time playing this and really, really liked it, although it's getting hard on me now. Pushmo. Pushmo is a great little series. This is the first game in it. A little puzzle-focused platforming. Box Boy. 2, this was great. I didn't even intend on buying these because they were too much to me. Like, I couldn't... I had written off that I was just never going to play these 2 3DS Phoenix Wright games, because I love Phoenix Wright, but I can't usually justify $30 for a download game, and, you know, I hold out for everything that they're gonna stay... they're gonna port them at some point. But Capcom did this crazy sale. They had like 80% off. So I got the 2 Phoenix Wright games here for about $4 or $5 each. And I've actually been playing Dual Destinies a little bit. It's really cool. It's as consistent as it's ever been. Moon Chronicles. This is actually one that I really wanted to talk about, because Moon Chronicles is a port of a really, really cool 3D original DS game, I should say, called Moon. That is very hard to find, and we got one in at the store recently. It's like $120. It's crazy. And I was like, man, I can't buy that, obviously. You know, it's a game I've wanted for a long time. I always heard about it. It was really cool. Did not know that they had ported it to the 3DS for, I think you can buy everything, even, this is more of a complete edition to it. You can buy it with the DLC for a total of like $18. So it's the original game with extra content as well. And then Resident Evil 3D Mercenaries, which was like $2 on that same Capcom sale. And I bought it just for the fact that, like, it would be my copy of Mercenaries. And as we all know from, like, way back, if you bought Mercenaries used on 3DS, you couldn't delete the save data. You'd have to just keep it on there. So if you buy a digital one for $2, you just that's your Mercenaries there. And then I should also mention with the Phoenix Wright thing that I did buy the Trilogy just for, I think, $15 on the Switch, too, because that was also included in that sale. So, yeah. Get your 3DS stuff in. There's lots on there. And that's not, like, I didn't even buy any retro stuff on there. I think I bought Crystal. I think I moved that into a folder, and that's why I didn't see it. I think I paid $10 for Crystal because, you know, that's just that version of that game is so, you know, sought after and hard to find. And like I said about the soundtrack, it's my favorite generation, so my Jiggy generation, if you will. Game Boy Advance game, just one here. Damn, this has gone up a lot lately. A launch title for the Game Boy Advance, even Konami Krazy Racers, just a very cool Mario Kart clone, with some very oddly chosen Konami characters in it, including, as you can see on the front there, one of the Power Pro's little characters there. Not focusing on the Game Boy Advance cartridge there, whatever. Yeah, I played a little bit. It's very reminiscent of Super Circuit. It's pretty cool. I actually have been looking forward. I really want to try it on the Retron and do it on the TV. Seems like it would be really good for that. And let's talk about Switch. This I've talked about before. ManEater I finally grabbed on the Switch, so I've changed over from PS4 to a Switch copy. Because it's a game that I just thought was awesome, and I really wanted to change over systems on that to get it on a system I like that much better. The Aleste Collection. This one's been teasing me for a bit. This is a import, of course, for the Aleste / Power Strike series, and is part of what's it called? Yeah, M2 Shot Triggers, which is a series of shoot 'em ups, ports, and originals. So there altogether are 5 games on this, and this is just interesting because it goes real far back. It goes, like, Aleste is largely an 8-bit series, like, on Master System and Game Gear, and they even made a completely new game in the series for it, but a game that runs on a Game Gear. So I think you can get it on, like, the mini Game Gears, actually. There's a version in Japan. I saw something like that. I'm not 100% on it. It seemed very strange to me. But nonetheless, that GG Aleste 3 is also on here, so it's really cool. They can do an awful lot with the Game Gear hardware now, and now they have five 8-bit shoot-'em-ups that are all really good in a compilation that is holding its value pretty well. That's why I said it teased me for a long time, and I was like, I can't pay, $75, $80 for that, and eventually I pulled the trigger. And this is very cool, too. This is also an import. This is the Namcot Collection, but it's Japanese. It's actually a completely different collection than we got over here with the hand-drawn cover art that said the Namco Museum Arcade Pack. What's interesting about this particular game is it's actually all Famicom games. It's a Famicom exclusive collection, which you can actually buy digitally over here on the eShop. And if it was if you had like a Japanese region setting and Switch everything, you could buy the additional volumes of the game to add to your little collection that you see in the game here. By far, though, the coolest thing about this has to be the fact that they have a Famicom Arranged Edition of Pac-Man Championship Edition. So they made a whole new version of, Pac-Man Championship Edition that would run on a Famicom in 8-bit style, and they put it on this, so that's really cool. Another one that's also worth noting here is Splatterhouse Wanpaku Graffiti, which you can see right here. It's sort of a SD-style Splatterhouse game for the Famicom. That's a popular import, so that's on that collection too. That's really cool. And we got a lot of odds and ends, just like one-offs. Dungeons & Dragons Dark Alliance, a game finally similar to the original Baldur's Gate games. This game got raked over the coals pretty hard when it came out last year, I want to say. Yeah, last year. It launched at $40 and people were like really not happy with it. So I was disappointed to hear that. I was like, oh, whatever. I guess I'll hold off on it. And it keeps going on sale, and I got this for PS5, to add to the PS5 collection for $15. Played it for like one night, but was able to say $15. It's pretty good for $15. I definitely would recommend that, and I didn't even play it with anybody. I played this by myself, so $15, $20, I'd say recommend this game. It's a little rough, but it's pretty cool. But I could see why people were disappointed in it for sure. I only have this as a disc only. It's just something that like I'd never seen before, and I found out about this game, Jupiter Strike, a Taito game published over here by Acclaim from their partnership in the 90s. This was actually a long box PS1 game that is a very blatant ripoff of Star Fox. So I found out about that, and long box goes for $25, $30, and I was like, I don't know if I want to pull the trigger on a game because I've seen that it doesn't have good reviews. People don't really seem to like it, but I watched gameplay of it, and I was like, I definitely have to try that game. So I grabbed this disc only because I will try it at some point. It's anything that is truly like a Star Fox game, I do want to try, because you just don't see it very often. One of the reasons I got so excited when the Viewpoint prototype, Viewpoint 2064, got released like 2 years ago, I was really, really excited to try it because it was trying to do a similar type of game. It's not as good, I know that, obviously. Moving on, we have a GameCube game, The Italian Job. I actually have a little soft spot for the Italian Job remake from 2003 that this is based on. And this game has not gone up or anything like that, like most GameCube games have. And for under $10, I was like, yeah, what the hell? It's probably a mission. It's going to be a mission-based like driving game, like a not quite Grand Theft Auto. I would not really want to compare it to that, both in quality and actual like scope. But something worth grabbing for under $10 for the GameCube. One PS2 game, another shoot 'em up. Here we have Raiden III. I was actually surprised to learn, I'd seen this a couple times before and I never picked it up, but I was surprised to learn how late this game came out, because I assumed it was an early PS2 title. Nope. This game is on a blue disc. It's not very large file size, but released in 2007, so I can see why people didn't really want to buy it, because when you've come out after the PS3 comes out, you can't really make a big splash with one shoot 'em up on one disc for the PS2. But I love the Raiden series. It's really good, so anything that it's not Psycho, but it's UFO has usually published that series for consoles, so that's essentially how I'll refer to it. The Raiden series as a whole is good. This is dumb. It's just a little cool oddity that I always heard about and never really saw. It's 100 classic books for the DS. It's exactly what it is. It's just a DS cartridge, in a good condition case and everything, and not very expensive, with books on it, which I always thought was cute, and yeah, I like it. It's a fun little thing to have. Another pinball game from, I think it was 2 months ago maybe that I grabbed all those pinball games, and this was on my list because we hadn't had any High Speed published by Trade West and actually developed and turned into a video game by Rare. This is back in their development. We'll take your licenses and stuff and publish on or develop for the NES days. This is a real table from Williams and it's supposed to be pretty good. And I don't see it on like compilations or anything like that. So unlike like Pinbot, which is also on the NES, but I don't need to buy because it's on compilations. This is, worth having for another good pinball game. And then lastly, I've got a surprising amount of PC titles here, starting here with Dracula Resurrection. The first two games in this Dracula series from the Adventure Company got published or ported to the PS1 as well, and I think I have the second one. But I grabbed this series on a GOG sale. I got all 5 of them for like $2, and I played a little bit of the first one actually, but that led to the, okay, well, I'll grab the physical of it to have it, on the shelf in nice condition and everything. So this is, $10-ish. And I played a little bit of it. It's really cool. It's got some pretty jarring character models, though. It's interesting. But it's a very cool point-and-click game. Definitely like the series. Let's go flip cover here. So there's that. And then we all know these guys. This is the proper Rollercoaster Tycoon 1. This is the game that I grew up on. I have the Rollercoaster Tycoon 3 Platinum, which is also great. Like, I played it for a little bit. I thought it was still awesome. But I really had to make sure that I had these. I didn't even really have the expansions before, but I definitely am interested. This is the Loopy Landscapes and Corkscrew Follies disc right here. I really had just played this before, and, you know, just remember it. I watched people play it on YouTube, like, just for the nostalgia of, like, what did people do that I couldn't pull off as a kid? So I really did enjoy a lot of that. That was great. Had to make sure to get it. We'll talk about this one here, because this is the reason that I bought these ones. S.T.A.L.K.E.R Shadow of Chernobyl, a PC shooter that was on my list, way up at the top of my list for a long time. And I actually bought it on Steam for like $4, and I tried to play it, and unfortunately, the Steam edition just doesn't work. It's not good. It's jittery and buggy and crashes, and I thought it was my computer, but I looked it up, and it turns out that that's just the Steam version for you. So I made sure to grab this, both to have a playable version and for the collection. So, S.T.A.L.K.E.R Shadow of Chernobyl, which also led me to purchase Fallout Trilogy. Definitely the type of, like, really complex, older style of RPG that Fallout started as. But when you see 1, 2, and a tactical RPG in one package for under $15, definitely worth adding to the collection on one DVD. Pretty good. And then speaking of adding a lot of games that are monumental releases in one small package, Command & Conquer: The First Decade. This covers a ton of games, 12 games altogether, if you include expansions as separate games. So 1, Red Alert, Tiberian Sun Generals, Yuri's Revenge, which is Red Alert 2, I think, and a bunch of expansions. So, yeah, lots of stuff in here. RTS is being one of the type of games that I do make sure to buy on PC, because it's the way to play RTS games, essentially. So all in one, I think it's on one DVD, actually. And there's just a big, there's one DVD and a bonus disc here, and then it's just like a huge manual and a poster. So, really good stuff. And we'll keep that PC collection tight but comprehensive. Works out that way. So, I don't know what I'll have for you next month. Other than games that I've already pre-ordered and know I'm going to get when they come out. But, yeah. We only have a couple more months here, and you'll start seeing you see the shelves are starting to empty out over there, because I'm slowly but surely packing them up, trying to make moving as easy as possible. And we'll see where that takes us over the next few months. So, I'll be on streaming very shortly after this to work on Carmageddon 64. Great. There's some painful stuff to get through before we get to, like, some good early 2000s N64. So, it's a gauntlet. It's a gauntlet, to be sure. Alright, thank you for watching, and thanks again, Patrick, for that Nintendo Force. I'll see you next time.